always start with primary home. Now there are different people who will tell you primary home is an expense. Primary home is style of living. It's not an expense.
The feeling you get when you have your own home, when you plant your own flowers or do that, it's so different than when you're doing it for a rental.
Welcome to Real Estate On Track with Alka and Sanjeev Vaneja, the brother-sister duo on ITV Gold every Friday at 8 p.m. or catch the repeat on Sunday at 8 p.m. Trust the expertise of On Track Realty since 1994. Contact them at 732-494-2211, and I'm sure by now you must have remembered their number. And our seasoned guests are Sanjeev Vaneja, lead broker and owner of On Track Realty, experienced and distinguished with past roles like President of Middlesex County Association of Realtors, New Jersey Realtor of the Year, and New Jersey Real Estate Commissioner. Joining him, I can see somebody is nodding her head. That is Alka Aneja, who is an award-winning salesperson with 30 plus years experience, and she's also the president of Humbled by Your Service charity and is also known for Soul Talks with Alka on YouTube. Once again, welcome to ITV Gold, and congratulations to both of you for a successful event.
It was a pleasure having you. Thanks for coming. And yes, it was a beautiful day. And the clients who came, we really appreciate and thank them for coming. Yes. Many couldn't come because of previous commitments. But it was a beautiful day. The weather was great. The food was good. I mean, based on it, whatever. See, if we keep saying food was good, that means we are saying it, but people were saying it.
No, I think
you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It was really good, especially jalebi and rabri.
Right,
that was like amazing.
And dosas too, and idlis too. I mean the vadas too. The food, Amma's kitchen guys made delicious stuff. The master chef made beautiful rabri.
So for those who don't know, we had our client appreciation event. And last year when we had the client appreciation event, rabdi was made. And then it turned into a business with justyummyrabdi.com. And yesterday, or on Saturday, was our first year anniversary of Just Yummy Rabdi, while there was fresh live jalebi. So we're talking about the event where we had approximately 400 people show up.
Right.
Which
so
we really
annual
appreciate.
Client appreciation event, but
Yes.
Alka is right. Yummy Rabdi was born just 1 year ago.
Yes.
So thanks for coming, and yes, thank you all who came. We appreciate it. And people don't come for food.
Yes.
Absolutely.
People come to say hello. It's the relationship that brought you. Food is simply an add-on.
Yeah.
And also, like we were talking before the show, we had also a thing in there that we will give a pack of $2 bills, brand new, a $200 pack for anybody who makes live videos, live Facebook posts. Surprisingly, only one couple did. And they are getting the brand new 200 bills. And yes, $2 bills exist.
Yes.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I missed on to that part last week. And
right. So Lavina and Ankush, congratulations again.
Congratulations. Your efforts paid off. The live paid off.
Yep.
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो राधा रमण हरि गोपाल बोलो
I want to ask you, what is this Client Appreciation Day? आप क्या करते हैं इस दिन?
इस दिन में हम क्लाइंट्स को थैंक यू करते हैं. We for the business we have gotten, for the relationships that have become. So it starts as a business, but then it becomes a relationship and it becomes family. So at the end, it total family है. So ये देखो बाकी जो है, it's to appreciate them. That's why I call it Client Appreciation Picnic.
Absolutely, I can see this yummy, delicious food का मुझे बहुत ही ज़्यादा smell आ रहा है, like खुशबू आ रहा है. Yes. So what do you all have here?
So we have live dosa, we have live vada, we have live jalebi, we have yummy rabdi, Master Chef's yummy rabdi.
Yes.
We have Italian ice, different flavors, lemon hai, pina colada, mango, and cherry. एंड अबव ऑल हमारा मंदिर छोटा सा जिनका है उनको कृष्ण जी की जन्माष्टमी मना रहे हैं, राधाष्टमी मना रहे हैं.
I'm Sumit Tripathi. So I bought a house in Addison, and it's Alka's magic actually. So her behavior, the way she handles people. So you won't believe it. I bought around 12 years back, and I'm still connected. She still responds even if I ask her something about my house or something else or related or unrelated things. So that's the beauty. Her magic, it works. And today also I'm kind of dragged by her magic that okay, let me come. And yeah, definitely the fantastic jalebi is just like Alka, very sweet.
So tell us about today. I know what is going on is the Client Appreciation Day going on, which has been going on for you guys for years.
Yes.
You have been doing this.
Yes.
So what is special? Are you doing anything kuch hatke aaj from last year?
Yes, so we're doing Janmashtami celebrations also and Radhashtami celebrations. So we have a Krishna Ji ka Jhula set up, and we have Rabdi Prashad, and we have live jalebi happening. So it's our way of saying thank you to the one who makes it all possible for us.
Tell us, why are you guys here?
So we started engaging with the On Track through Neetu and Alka. They are the best, right? They found us our house. They've been constantly guiding us. Neetu is amazing. Neetu is on top of things. She gets back to us with amazing answers, and she's just the best.
On Track is older than I am. So On Track started in 1994. I was born in 1996, so I've grown up. I've seen the whole company. My dad started it obviously from nothing. He actually started as an electrical engineer, and he came here. He fell in love with real estate. Him and my aunt Alkabua, they really started the business, and slowly over time, with God's grace, things have worked out well. So it's all a tribute to his hard work and to Alkabua's hard work.
So how do you feel? वो 25 साल से अभी तक दुनिया बदल गई है बहुत. तो On Track अभी तक क्या, is it just like the same what it was day one, what you have seen?
I know Alka and Sanjeev, they both are such wonderful friends now. They were really serving the community with the real estate and whatever our needs are. And I have to tell you that जितनी बार भी मैंने उनसे घर खरीदा है, I always feel like they worry about my house more than I worry about my house. And they really go out of their way to make sure I get the fair deal.
राधा रमण हरि गोपाल बोलो.
So today, let's talk about, I've seen many people, they don't have the primary home though, but they want to invest. So what is better? Should we first have a primary home, or should we first have an investment home?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And primary home, like we've discussed in the past, start with the primary home and then make that as an investment property and go to a different primary home. So a couple of things to quickly refresh. Primary home is your smaller home. Let's say a 2-bedroom condo. You're coming from a 2-bedroom apartment. You don't need a 4-bedroom home. You start with a 2-bedroom condo. You live in there for 2 years or whatever time you want to live in, and then make it a rental property and then buy a primary home if you can afford. Now, let's say you cannot afford to keep that condo. Then you sell it in 2 years. You don't pay any capital gains on it if you made gains on it, and you put that money in your primary home. So always start with primary home. Now there are different people who will tell you primary home is an expense. Primary home is style of living. It's not an expense. Yes, everything is an expense. So should you not buy a car? Should you not live the way you should live in life? Should you not have your backyard? Or in a condo, no backyard, but something you can call your own. Home is the number one dream of any, whether we were back in India or whether we were back in America. It's called American dream for a reason. And in India, it was a number one thing. People didn't sell that home. So always start with a primary home, and then investments are a great way to build that portfolio. But mistake people make, or people who are selling their programs out there, they tell you it's an expense. Do an investment property. Do it at zero down. Leverage yourself. Don't over leverage yourself. We've talked about this again and again. Investment properties can sink you if this market turns down. So always remember, it's a long-term thing. Investment is a great way to become rich with time. It's not a quick rich get scheme, but start with your primary home. And this said, it's different for everybody else. But if you're going to make money in an investment property and not have a home that you're living in and continue to live in an apartment complex where roach infested, mice infested, whatever, what are we making the money for?
Right.
So it's a different way of thinking in life. Money is for lifestyle. Money is not to save and leave it for grandchildren. Now, obviously it is, but not just for that to start with. Your children and grandchildren need a lifestyle. So,
I
Anka,
agree.
you want to add?
No, I think it's important that you have there's a psychological value of owning your own home, and that's not a measurable value. That is just a psychological, you have to, the feeling you get when you have your own home, when you plant your own flowers or do that, it's so different than when you're doing it for a rental. Because if you want to make something better or beautify it, you're almost not going to want to do it because it's a rental. But in your own home, you will not think about it. So the psychological is not measurable. What he's talking about is monetary, and monetary is measurable.
Right. So rented is temporary. Home is almost permanent. Rentable, you're living in there, you want to paint your home wall green. The apartment complex says no, or switch it back to white for us.
Yeah.
In your home, you can do whatever you want to do as you want to. It's freedom.
Yes.
And isn't freedom
Priceless.
the most important thing in life? Priceless.
Absolutely. Yes.
So start with the home and then go to an investment property.
Let's talk about the investment properties today. So how can one select an investment property?
So again, income and expense, no matter what, when we talk about it, what is your expense and what is the income from it? Investment has zero emotions in it, zero. It's all logic. So if your income is higher than your expense, it's a good investment property. If your income is lower than your expense, then you're going to be bringing money from your pocket every single month. If you feel you got it at the right price and it will appreciate, then you're not worried about today. You're saying, oh, okay, so my $200,000 property will become $500,000 in 10 years. Let's say they got the good value. Then, hey, you got $300,000 in 10 years from your leveraged property because you only put 20% down. So on $40,000, you made $300,000. See the difference? It can be huge, but you are losing money every single month.
Yeah, it also depends on what your goal is. Is your goal making equity buildup? Is your goal getting cash flow out of it? So if your goal is getting cash flow out of it, then this is what Bhaiya is talking about. The return on your investment has to be higher. But if your goal is equity, then remember the tenant who's going to be living there is going to be paying your mortgage. So they're actually going to be building your equity for the 10%, or not 10%, but 25% down that you have to build in as an investment.
Right.
So the reason why I said 10% initially is if you buy that as a primary residence, you can buy it as a 10% down, get a proper primary interest rate, go to a bigger home. Now this becomes your investment property. And now you can do that again second time around. And that's a great way to accumulate investment properties because you're not paying 25% down and you're not paying an investment mortgage rate.
Right. So again, each is different for
Yes.
each. When we sit with you, when we talk to you, we'll analyze, understand your needs, and then guide you accordingly. Yep.
So are there any neighborhood or any properties which are best for investing?
No, same. The principles do not change.
Okay.
Principles we talked about are the principles that stay. So neighborhood could be that we always say, stay in a small circle within your home. If you live in New Jersey, don't invest in Texas. It's too far for you. You cannot manage it. Unless it's a huge property and there are multiple tenants and you have a property manager there. When you are starting small, be close to, don't have a property that is more than 10, 15 miles away from you. Then slowly, as you learn the business, you can go a little further as long as you have the appetite to travel as needed, when needed, if needed.
And a lot of people ask, should I get a property manager if I want to buy like a one bedroom condo or 2 bedroom condo, whatever. But just know that nobody else will manage your money the way you manage it. Very rarely do you get a property manager who's honest about getting the right person to come and do your job. A lot of times things are not done well and your money is not going to be looked after the way you look after your money. So you're going to get the right toilet on sale. So if you can manage those things yourself, like Bhaiya said, keep it within close to your range so that you can go out and take a look at it. If it's too far, life is going to get in the way and you're not going to be able to handle it. You're going to be outsourcing it and someone else will take advantage of it.
So, Sanjeev ji, I basically stalk you a lot on Facebook and other social media.
I've seen your comments, yes.
Yes. And I definitely did like your post on, which was on Facebook for Ganesh Chaturthi. And I think I agree with you what you put there. Can you just talk about it a little bit?
Right. So for our listeners, they don't know, my question was about this bringing Ganesh home every year, taking care of him, calling him Vighanharta, telling him take care of us, and then letting him go 10 days later. I don't understand the system at all. How can we bring somebody, take care of so well, tell them to fill our needs, and then say, you're gone? Imagine this, your son-in-law comes to your home and you say, hey, do my this work, this my lawn work, everything, do everything for me, and then you throw him under the bus. Unfortunately, that's what we're doing now. Ganesh is the sweetest child. If you look at his eyes, he is a sweetest child. He's the child who went around his parents and said, this is my world.
Yes.
He is a child. How do we let a child go? So Shivji, Parvati are the parents. Imagine their plight. They're saying, you're taking my child.
I think, Bhaiya, the way it's done.
No, I understand. See, there is a custom. In life, there's a custom. You follow a custom blindly. So I put that in very genuinely, I put that question.
And somebody responded.
Many people responded.
And I know somebody exactly responded why we do this.
Actually, many people responded, Pia, and all the answers were different. Which means everybody is following a custom for a wrong reason. Or a right reason, maybe for them. For a different reason. One person even lectured me and saying, start reading Vedas and all, and this is not in Vedas. So he's talking about Sanatan Dharam, but I'm saying, hold on. That's a different topic. You follow but you don't think about it logically for a moment. What if we brought Ganesh every year and took care of him and then left him to serve him for the whole year? And 10 years later, we have 10 little Ganeshis sitting at home.
Even I have been doing that. I bring every year and I leave in my temple.
But
that's how I do
it's
it.
beautiful.
Oh, really?
But here's what happens, Pia. There is a scare in our mind. The scare is if we don't let him go in 10 days, something wrong will go with us. There's nothing wrong that will go with us with Ganeshi. Now, what if Ganeshi fell third day in the home? You brought him, Vighanharta was home, and he fell and he broke. Then people are like, oh my God, something wrong will go with me. No, he broke. You were about to throw him in the water anyhow in 7 more days. So what's the problem? So the issue, what I'm talking about is, it's a custom, it's a ritual, do it again. But just stop and think, am I doing it for a ritual? Or am I doing it knowing what I'm doing it for? Now, the beautiful answer that you were talking about that came was, and makes so much sense. Ganeshi is made of clay. That's how Parvati ji made him. And he's sent back to the water, depicting that there is life and there is death. But would we do that for a child? Are we learning lessons from it? What if a child died in 10 days? Are we going to be okay because we learned a lesson? What lesson did we learn from Ganeshi? It was such a beautiful explanation. But are we learning from that explanation that yes, life after death, then let's not cry when somebody dies at our home? Because we all should be thrown away. And we're all going to be thrown away in big scheme of things. So I'm sorry, Alka thinks this is
No,
too
so-
contradictory
No,
in
no, no,
thing.
it's not that. So when we were in Delhi and in North India, this was never, Ganesh Chaturthi is never, not a big thing, right?
It
So
has become a very big thing
now
all
because
over.
of Bollywood. No, because of Bollywood has
right.
made it, but it was never a big thing. We never grew up as a big thing with Ganesh Chaturthi. When we came here, I realized because
You're
you know,
right.
there's everybody is
No,
diversely
Alka,
from here.
what you're not remembering is that was 40 years ago. Things have changed in 40
But Bollywood
years.
has
Delhi
changed
is
it.
happening too.
But
so
Bollywood
these
has
people
changed
go,
it.
these film stars go. These
Yes,
film
the
stars bring.
Bollywood influence,
It's a
that's
Bollywood
Right.
influence. It's,
So
they've
they bring this
grandiosed
Ganeshi
it.
at home,
Yeah.
and then they throw the Ganeshi, and everybody thinks we have to do because it's Sanatan Dharam. No, it's not Sanatan Dharam. In fact, I've never read Vedas. I don't intend to read Vedas or Rig Vedas or whatever they are. I appreciate all those who know it, but I guarantee it, nobody can show me this ritual in there that said, bring Shivji's son and then get rid of him in 10 days. We call him Vigangharta and then we let him go in the water. My heart sinks thinking about it. So bring him home, respect him, love him, and then keep him.
You have a really sweet tradition. That's very sweet.
And Pia, that's great. And there are a lot of people who said they loved the question. There are a lot of people who had explanations, and I thank all of them. And while you're listening to it, you probably have a million explanations too, if you have a million people are listening. But the question is, are we doing it for fear? Are we doing it because everybody else is doing it? Or are we really understanding what we are doing to somebody's? If there's a little body found someplace where somebody killed somebody, we all cry, even when we don't know who that child is. It was in California, somebody killed them, the news makes it all over. And here in millions, we are going to take this little beautiful child who loves his parents and whose parents love him and throw him in the water. I don't get it. I cannot do it. I'll never do it.
But there is
So think about it when you're about to get rid of him. I'm sorry, Alka. when you're about to get rid of him.
So what happens is for the people who do it, if there is a reason and if you actually know what the reason is and you believe in that reason and you understand why it is, it's fine, right? Majority of the people follow this tradition
Not
without
knowing
knowing
what they are
because
following.
it has been grandized, right, by everyone, and we just kind of follow the tribe and not knowing why we do it. So I kept reading about it, and yes, the ritual sounds okay. Now there's a whole lot of what's going on with Gangaji and where they're putting in, they're saying, okay, you know what, some dissolve in the water, some do not dissolve in the water, and what happens to the pollution and what happens to all the stuff that's that goes with them, and it doesn't, and the waters are getting polluted. So that's a civic society matter. This is more of why we do it, and if someone can actually tell us why, and you believe in it, it's why, it's fine. But I think most people follow, or I think most people follow, is from a traditional point, right?
Absolutely.
Not knowing what the tradition comes from.
Again, please keep on doing it if that's what makes you happy. But please stop for a minute and think, are we the one we loved for 10 days? How are we letting it go? And then bring him again next year and then again let him go? Where did you hear about that tradition, and is it really worth it? And should you follow it just because everybody else is? I see how people bring him with love. I
No,
see
and
how
they do
much
the
love.
Visarjan with love too.
Yeah, no, but I see how they come. I mean, that makes me happy.
But even Visarjan is done with love.
I understand.
Done
because
with a lot
that's
of
ritual.
fanfare. Yeah.
That's a ritual. Because somebody told us that if you do this, something better, beautiful will happen to you. If somebody all of a sudden came up, an astrologer came up from nowhere and said, if you do a Visarjan, something wrong will go. Imagine.
Nobody will do it.
Nobody will do Visarjan. I promise you, nobody will. But somebody has told us, if you do Visarjan, good things will happen. So we have been sold a wrong item, unfortunately. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi.
Happy Ganesh Chaturthi,
Happy
everyone.
Radha Ashtami. Radha Ashtami is on September 23rd. And be happy with whatever your tradition is. But stop for a moment. Think about it.
I think it was really very enlightening, whatever you said, Sanjeev ji, and of course, Alka, you too. But I wish we had a little more time so that we can spend on it and, discuss the whole thing. But we will have to say goodbye for today. But we will be back next week again, same day, same time. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Priya. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.